Good evening and welcome to ITV News. This is Wednesday night's calendar.
Good evening. Here are tonight's main stories.
Searches are underway for a girl who reportedly fell into Baitings Reservoir near Ripon.
A brother's poignant appeal for more people to register as stem cell donors after the kindness of a stranger in Germany helped him spend precious extra time with his sister.
When you know that somebody's ill, that time's even more precious because you appreciate how valuable time is. So, yeah, it was invaluable.
Building for the future. Are we training enough people to build new homes and fill vacancies in the construction industry?
And putting their best foot forward, the primary school pupils from Doncaster who've been chosen to play a starring role in a new ballet production. But first this evening, a developing story. Emergency services are searching a West Yorkshire reservoir after reports that a girl fell into the water. Fire crews, police, underwater search teams and the ambulance service are all on the scene at Baitings Reservoir near Ripon. Well, our reporter Matt Price sent us this from the scene a few minutes ago.
Well, details this evening remain sketchy, but what we do know is that emergency services were called here at just after 1:15 this lunchtime to reports that a girl had fallen into Baitings Dam in the water of the reservoir just behind me, and immediately the alarm was raised and there was, as you'd expect, a huge emergency response here. We have colleagues from the West Yorkshire Fire Service and West Yorkshire Police also. They were mobilised and the search for the girl got underway, and a mile or so away from where we stand now on a separate bridge, West Yorkshire Fire Service have just been seen to be launching their inflatable boat into the water. So the search not only is concentrated here but further upstream as well, if you will. In terms of medical response, we have the hazardous area response team from Yorkshire Ambulance Service, the elite band of paramedics that are here providing support as well. Driving on our way in, and just on the side of the road we've counted at least 4 ambulances and 2 fire engines, along with a large police response as well. What do we know about the area? Well, this is a well-known beauty spot near Ripon, high up in West Yorkshire. There are several short walks and panoramic views. It is, of course, very popular with families in the sunshine, especially popular during the school holidays, which it is at the moment. Anyone with information is being asked to contact the West Yorkshire Force, specifically the Calderdale District Police, or by calling 101. But to recap tonight's story, it was just after 1 o'clock this lunchtime that emergency services were called here to Baitings Dam to reports that a girl had fallen into the water. This evening the search is very active. It remains ongoing.
Matt Price reporting for us there, and of course if there are any developments on that story while we're on the air, we will of course bring those to you.
Well, next this evening, to a brother's appeal for more people to join the stem cell register, as figures show Yorkshire has among the lowest numbers of potential donors in the country.
Richard Keating's sister Liz, a professional singer from Wakefield, was diagnosed with a rare form of leukemia in 2020. She received a stem cell transplant from a donor in Germany after a global search for a match.
Sadly, Liz's life couldn't be saved by a stem cell transplant, but it was lengthened by a couple of years that her family will be forever grateful for. Fraser Maud reports.
When will I see you again?
She was amazing. We were best friends basically. Yeah, we were extremely close as brother and sister. She was a professional singer. She was larger than life.
Larger than life, but Liz Keating's life was one tragically cut short by cancer. Diagnosed with acute lymphoblastic leukemia in 2020, Liz fought hard to defeat the killer cells in her blood. It was a battle she eventually lost last year. But her brother Richard says it was thanks to a stem cell transplant that he and the rest of Liz's family were gifted an extra couple of years with the woman they loved.
She was unbelievable. I wouldn't have had the bravery that she had. It was incredible. And also not just that, the fact that when she was going through this treatment, which was so exhausting and physically horrible for her, the fact that she did it with a smile and positivity that was just unbelievable was amazing.
Liz's donor came from Germany, where around 15% of the population have joined the stem cell registry. In the UK as a whole, it's a fraction of that, and in our region, the proportion is even lower.
It's crazy. There's only less than 2.5% of people are actually registered nationally on the stem cell register, and it's something that's completely painless. It's uninvasive except for a cheek swab, and it's free to do. So the barriers to actually people getting on the stem cell register are minimal.
Like Richard, several charities are trying to raise awareness of the need for donors, especially today, World Blood Cancer Day.
I think it is awareness, so quite a lot of people might know about donating blood, or people might get confused. Most people I speak to don't know what a stem cell is. It's a very specialist cell, and that is why it can help people with blood cancer and blood disorders. So by signing up to the anti-known stem cell register, it means people are willing to be contacted if they are a match, and they could then potentially go on and donate to save a life.
Richard will always miss his sister Liz. There's no cure for grief. But thanks to a stem cell donor, he's got a few more valuable memories to help ease the pain. Fraser Maud, ITV News, Wakefield.
Let's have a look at some more of the day's news. And a Leeds man has been jailed for dangerous driving following a police chase on A roads in York. 23-year-old Keenan Joseph reached speeds of over 100 miles an hour, drove on the wrong side of the road and crashed into a number of vehicles during the pursuit on the A64 and A19. He's been jailed for 16 months, banned from driving for more than 3.5 years and has been ordered to pay compensation.
The boss of West Yorkshire Police, Chief Constable John Robbins, is one of 6 senior officers who has called on the government for more funding. The group said the emergency release of prisoners to deal with overcrowding will put more pressure on policing and could put public safety at risk. A Ministry of Justice spokesman said that they're investing £17.6 billion in policing this year to protect communities and keep the streets safe.
A funding increase of £600,000 has been approved to support children with special educational needs in Barnsley. It'll pay for more specialist staff for children with hearing and visual loss and see inclusion services expanded in mainstream schools. There's been a 140% increase in children requiring plans to meet special education or disability needs over the last 10 years.
Well, still to come on the programme this evening. In ITV's 70th birthday year, we're catching up with Calendar's very first early riser.
And it's a fairy tale come true for children at Doncaster Primary School making their ballet debut this weekend.
Now, it's a cry from the construction industry in our region that many will have heard before. A shortage of skilled workers, whether that be bricklayers, joiners or electricians. That in turn means fewer new homes being built at a time when there is record demand.
Well, the government has pledged to build 1.5 million new homes by 2029. And to meet that target, 10 new technical colleges are being built, with the aim of training up 60,000 more skilled workers.
But those working in the construction industry are guarded about whether it's enough. Chris Conway reports.
At Barnsley College, students are honing their skills with a trowel. Bricklaying just one of the courses on offer, with those taking part keen to build up their construction experience.
You're never out of work, and it's a good job to have.
My dad's an electrician and my sister's going down the same route, so I didn't want to go into the same route, be a bit different by going into building surveying.
Dad and my granddad, they were all hard workers, so I was trying to live up to my name.
There are plenty keen to sign up to similar courses here too, but a lack of demand isn't the problem.
Physical capacity is probably the biggest challenge that we face. We can only accommodate a certain number of students in this building. It's bursting at the seams already. We're looking to extend out at the back so that there's further space, but that will only take a few more students.
To build up the construction workforce, the government wants to train up to 60,000 more engineers, bricklayers and electricians by 2029. To do it, 10 new technical colleges are to open, with more construction courses also offered at existing colleges. The government hopes this £265 million investment will help cement its promise to build 1.5 million new homes. But with over 35,000 job vacancies in the sector, does it go far enough?
There is a shortage of construction workers within the industry. We look to new technologies such as modern methods of construction. On here we use factory-built timber frame, which reduces the reliance on on-site labour and helps address that shortage.
Carl, from one of the UK's biggest house builders, thinks the government's plans will help to tackle both the housing and the skills shortage, but won't demolish the problem completely. Carl, is the target of 1.5 million homes achievable in your opinion?
We are prepared to increase our volumes within the short to medium term to help the government achieve that 1.5 million new homes.
He didn't answer the question though. It doesn't sound as if it is achievable from what you're saying.
It's a challenging target, but we are prepared to step up.
Another problem facing the sector is cutting through perceptions that a career in construction doesn't measure up. Jack is an apprentice joiner.
I would say definitely do it at a young age, as it gives you more time to go through it. Once you're finished, as you say, you've got everything ahead of you. Your life's ahead of you. If you want to do other stuff, it's there, but since it's a trade, it's still there to go back to.
Despite the challenges, homes are continuing to be built. The government hopes its investment will lay the foundations of a strong future for the construction sector. Chris Conway, ITV News.
Well, the money being spent on technical colleges and training that you heard about in Chris's report is just a fraction of £600 million the government has promised to spend on the construction industry as a whole.
Our reporter Kevin Ashford has been speaking to Skills Minister Baroness Jackie Smith about the concerns that the investment is too little, too late, and whether the industry just isn't attractive to job seekers right now.
There are all sorts of chances, both for young people and for other people further on in their career, to change, perhaps to upskill or to change direction and come into construction. And through the Chancellor's investment of £600 million, we've now put the resources behind it in our colleges, specialist teachers, the opportunity for people who perhaps combine working in the industry with teaching people as well, through the changes that we've made to apprenticeships, to make it possible to deliver that step change that we need to change the country.
Now, the aim is to build 1.5 million homes. We've heard from people in the industry who are quite sceptical that is a reachable target.
Well, we believe it is. It will require all of us working together. And one of the really good things about this package is it's also employers in the construction industry stepping up as well, stepping up to provide those placements for students, stepping up to offer apprenticeships for young people, because they understand, as we all do, that we will need to get more people into the industry.
Does tightening immigration rules exacerbate that skills shortage?
Well, what we've been very clear about in the immigration white paper is that, yes, we do need to move away from a situation where we automatically think, well, we have a skills shortage, so we're going to import labour. That's why we're putting so much focus here on growing our own.
That's Baroness Jackie Smith talking to Kevin Ashford. Now, after calendar, it's the ITV Evening News. That's at 6:30 with Lucrezia Millerini.
Coming up on the ITV Evening News, police chiefs directly appeal to the government for more money. They claim pledges like halving knife crime can't be met without extra cash. Thames Water fined a record amount over sewage spills and shareholder payouts. And a special report into the revolting state of student accommodation. Join me for those stories and more at 6:30.
We will, Lucrezia, thank you very much. I wonder, do you get up early in the morning? Do you turn your telly on? Well, you'll recognise Victoria, of course, because she's with me all week. Normally, she's the face of Good Morning Calendar. So, surely, Victoria, it's past your bedtime by now.
Absolutely. I'm more used to 6 o'clock in the morning than 6 o'clock in the evening. And tonight I'm doing the late news. I don't know how I'll stay awake.
I don't know. I don't know how you're going to do it. Well, as part of ITV's 70th birthday celebrations, I want to take you back to the 1970s to look at a Yorkshire television first. The very first ever breakfast TV show called Good Morning Calendar.
It was actually a bit of an experiment featuring local news, weather and travel. Sounds familiar? Let's take a look.
Well, good morning from Calendar on this historic day for us, bringing breakfast television to Britain. Well, with all this snow, ice and these freezing temperatures around, there could be a few traffic problems. So let's go over and talk to Inspector Peter Brafton at Wakefield.
So whatever happened to that young presenter? Well, I'm glad to say, delighted to say that Bob Warman joins us now from Birmingham. And Bob, you know, looking back at that old footage of that experiment, I mean, that was pioneering television.
Radio was the obvious way to pick up your news, but here was something really new. And as you saw, it's very, very basic. It was a case of news, weather, and maybe a bit of sport, road traffic reports and so on. And I do remember for those times that we had a telephone on the desk, and I was forever reaching for that telephone just to pad out things, because the telephone wasn't connected, by the way. I was getting all my instructions through an earpiece, but it was a way of appearing to be on the button, you know, right here with the news.
And I'm sure you're very proud to have played your part in that early experiment.
I was number one on the billing, and there was a young man called Richard Whiteley there who went on to great things with Countdown and so on. But yeah, it was an interesting time. It was a very interesting time to be at Yorkshire Television, and you know, we're pioneering. We're doing something entirely new, something which nobody had done before in the UK. And as an experiment, well, it taught me one thing. It taught me that I'm not an early bird. It taught me that I didn't want to do breakfast television ever.
Well, now, today's weather. And today's weatherman is John Hunter. Good morning, John.
Good morning, Bob.
And just tell us a bit about your memories of being at Yorkshire Television, what it was like, you know, back in the 70s with all these programmes being made here on Kirkstall Road.
It was certainly a very busy place. I mean, it was a real centre of excellence there. You knew that you were amongst great programme makers and the Alan Wickers and all that sort of thing, all those sort of people. I mean, it was a great atmosphere. And as I've mentioned before, a great pioneering atmosphere.
You went off, of course, to become the face of regional ITV News in the Midlands and did that for many, many years. Looking back now, just how good a start was it working at Yorkshire TV to then take you on for the rest of your career?
Well, it was a great start. I had 3 wonderful years up in that part of the world. Gosh, I know they call it God's own country, and I can see why. I really loved it there.
You're looking well on it, and you know, I'm sure the viewers will be delighted to see you again on Calendar after all these years. It's brilliant. So thanks very much for sharing your memories with us.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thanks, Bob. Oh, great to catch up with Bob Warman a little bit earlier.
Brilliant
great
broadcaster.
Stuff. Yeah. Now then, I wonder what's coming up next. Hang on a minute. Is that Emily? Yeah. What have you got next? Something about Kevin Sinfield, Victoria.
Oh, is that right? I think we should move swiftly on then.
You better read it.
Lend me that next week when I'm on Earlies again, won't you? Former Leeds Rhinos and Great Britain Rugby League star and fundraising legend Kevin Sinfield is embarking on a new challenge aiming to raise more money for those impacted by motor neurone disease following the passing of teammate Rob Burrow last June. This time, Kevin is set to run 7 ultramarathons in 7 days across 7 regions. He'll start in East Anglia on the 1st of December and finish in Leeds Headingley Stadium on the 7th.
For us, he's raised way over £2 million, which has contributed to the centre. He continues to support us and other M&D charities. He's making a difference. And the challenge itself, let's not forget how hard that is, you know. I want to say not just to Kevin that does it, but his team that do the 7 in 7. The difference you're making is huge.
Trans-Pennine Express has become the first train operator to have a therapy dog. 6-year-old Naya goes out to stations to meet passengers and colleagues with her owner and trainer Stephen O'Callaghan, the company's safeguarding and crime prevention lead.
Oh, what a lovely boy.
Get it?
Or girl, actually,
lead.
Naya.
Crime prevention lead, get it?
Oh, gosh, never even occurred to me. Brilliant. Good day for dog walking today, actually, wasn't it?
Yeah, it improved quite quickly, and although we've had a few showers, it was a decent day in the sunny spells. But we did have, well, I did have some rain last night, so I'm glad I mentioned it because it did nudge a little bit further north, and it was a very noisy night for me. Had quite a lot of rain. In fact, southern parts of the region almost an inch worth of rain, whereas further north there was nothing. There's been a lot of talk about the rain, obviously, because we've had so little of it for weeks and weeks and over the last few days, but I really don't think it's touched the sides. I think North Yorkshire's still at its driest on record. We've had one of the driest driest starts to the year since the 1950s, if ever, for parts of North Yorkshire. And yeah, even though we've got 3 days to go, I really think most parts of our region will be in the top 3 driest springs on record, and records go back to 1836 for rainfall. For sunshine, they go back to 1910, and even with 3 days to go, we are the sunniest spring on record for the UK, for West Yorkshire, for Derbyshire and for South Yorkshire. So yes, lots of stats we've been talking about over the last few weeks, understandably so, because it has been so dry and sunny. And these are the sunniest spots that we've had for our photographs today. This is Jagger Green in Calderdale, just the southern part of the Yorkshire Dales there. A big thank you to John Lawrence, absolutely beautiful. I think it's Rose Bay Willowherb maybe in the foreground there, absolutely beautiful. If I can show you the next one. There we go, Ilkley Moor. A big thank you to Stephen Bamford for that shot, staying dry, although we did have a few showers earlier on. This is Hunmanby Gap. A big thank you to Jill Bradshaw of Weaverthorpe for that, looks like summer. And last but no means least, the cows were sunbathing, I think, during the course of this afternoon. They might be hiding under a tree if they see the rain overnight tonight, but there's nothing in that. It's just an old wives' tale. There's no scientific evidence that if a cow sits under a tree, it's going to rain. But yeah, we are expecting a little bit of rain over the next few days, and the forecast coming up very shortly.
Can't wait. Thank you.
Now, a fairy tale is about to come true for youngsters from a Doncaster primary school after they were selected to perform with a ballet company's production of Snow White when it takes to the stage later this week.
And the 10 pupils from Bentley New Village Primary School have been rehearsing today with the cast as they get ready for a performance that takes a fresh look at a classic fairy tale. Our very own Prince Charming, Martin Fisher, went along to meet them.
10 youngsters chosen from almost 100 pupils to star in Ballet Lorent's production of Snow White. The Doncaster shows will form part of a national tour of the Brothers Grimm favourite.
Yeah, to be honest, I think it's great because they're kind of uninhabited. They're kind of they're not sort of affected, or they're kind of free to be themselves, to express themselves. They're super creative, and yeah, I don't think they don't have a pre-existing expectancy of how to perform on stage. They're totally themselves. They're kind of raw and free and wild, and that's exactly what we want to see on stage, I think.
The children play animals in the classic story, and this was their first rehearsal today, ahead of appearing on Friday night. None have previous experience, so are learning as they go. So these are Doncaster's next generation of budding ballet stars. How excited are you?
A bit nervous, but like really excited inside. But I'm nervous outside because I don't think I'm gonna do good.
Oh, I'm sure you will. And what was your thoughts when you got selected?
I was like really happy.
Do you like dancing then?
Yeah.
Well, this is ballet, isn't it? This is something else.
Yeah.
So who's going to tell me what role they're playing? I can see you're getting into character already. What role are you playing?
I'm playing the wolf.
The wolf. And what does the wolf do?
Oh!
And tell me about some of the rest of you. How excited are you?
I'm a bit like nervous, but I'm very excited at the same time. But
what about all those people who are going to be watching you? What about this young man at the back? All those people are going to be watching you at the weekend, aren't they? Are you going to be nervous?
no, I'm gonna be really excited.
It's a retelling of the story from the Wicked Queen's perspective. And just as excited as the children are the parents. Miriam is the mum of Ganya. Are you surprised at all this?
Yes, I'm always surprised when I see her dancing the competition at school, to be singing at home, and she likes to be that my mom, I want to become a singer, and then I want to become a dancer. Then I like that.
So these budding ballet stars working hard, ready for curtain up on Friday night. Martin Fisher, ITV News in Doncaster.
Oh, what a great opportunity. I think they're going to be absolutely fantastic, aren't they? Good luck to them on their performance.
But how fantastic would Martin Fisher be as Prince Charming?
Amazing, I think.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. Maybe we can ask them to do that.
Here's Kerry then with the forecast now.
A clear start makes way for a day of ancient discoveries. TUI sponsors ITV Yorkshire Weather.
Yes, that mobile weather story continues over the next few days. For today, a bit of a cloudy, wet start first thing this morning. then a good dose of sunshine for most of us. But yes, showers of rain never too far away, and a few rainbows around as well. After we've got this area of low pressure and a spell of rain out of the way overnight tonight, we really do stay in that warm sector for Friday and Saturday, but make the most of it. Low pressure is waiting in the wings for Sunday and Monday, which will bring once more a fresher feel and a mix of sunshine and showers. So back to this evening, mostly dry, maybe even with some clear spells, but cloud is expected to thicken quite readily through the night and outbreaks of rain starting to develop. A little bit of a northwest-southeast split, with the heaviest of those pulses producing quite a lot of rainfall overnight tonight for the Dales and the Pennines, but we're importing the southerly. Nothing too chilly, most of us staying in double figures. Very sun times as we head into tomorrow, 4:45 and 9:22. Unsettled start tomorrow morning, cloudy skies, outbreaks of rain, but the system is pushing its way eastwards. Of course, our days are still getting longer now, so into the afternoon and early evening, drier, albeit cloudy, quite misty and murky over the Pennines, and actually quite blustery and gusty too. There could be gusts in excess of 30 miles an hour. Temperature-wise though, 20-21, and will pop up even further if we get any thinning of that cloud and some sunshine coming through. Now, as we head into Friday, we've got a weak front. It could generate some cloud, maybe a few showers around at first, but it's mostly dry into the afternoon with highs of 22. Saturday's the best day though, plenty of sunshine and feeling warmer still.
TUI sponsors ITV Yorkshire Weather. Making the most of summer. Piri sponsors ITV Pollen Count.
With the cloudy skies and the unsettled conditions, the pollen counts have been low over the last few days, but the grass pollen season is just around the corner. And with warmer and brighter conditions towards Saturday, it's up to moderate. There you go, and just briefly, it's World Otter Day apparently today, so a big thank you to Paul Smith for sharing this footage that he saw yesterday. Absolutely brilliant. I suppose the rain's brought it out. And before we leave, I don't know which one's your favourite, but this is definitely my favourite logo of the weather. It just reminds me of being a kid in the 70s. I don't know about you two.
I'll tell you what, Kiri, the boss wants a word with you. Good night.
See you again at 10:30. Bye-bye.